Welcome to my channel, where we dig into the hidden stories of science. Stories that didn't make it into textbooks. Discoveries that quietly changed how we understand life, long before we were ready to understand them. Today, we're diving into a forgotten mystery in biology: bioelectricity. Over 200 years, scientists have discovered that electricity isn't just in wires. It's in our bodies, our cells, and even our thoughts. In this video, we'll explore the pioneers who first uncovered the spark of life. In the 1780s, Luigi Galvani made a shocking discovery, quite literally. While experimenting with dissected frog legs, he noticed that a simple spark of electricity made them twitch, as if alive. This was the birth of bioelectricity, the idea that living tissue could be powered by electrical signals. Galvani's work laid the foundation for modern neuroscience, proving that electricity wasn't just in machines, it was inside us all along. In the early 1800s, a quiet revolution happened under the microscope. René Dutrochet in France was observing how plant cells interact with electric forces. That's when he noticed that cells were behaving according to chemical and electrical gradients. This challenged the dominant idea that biology could be explained through chemistry alone. That led him to a radical conclusion that electricity was helping organize living systems, from single cells to entire organisms. His work suggested that bioelectricity could be the hidden current shaping all life, from the tiniest leaf to the human brain. By the 1920s, genetics was taking center stage. But one researcher, Saxton Burr, was focusing on something completely different. Burr started measuring electrical fields around developing embryos. He found that embryos produced stable, structured bioelectric fields long before organs fully formed. As development progressed, these fields changed in predictable ways. What's more, when part of the embryo got damaged, the electric patterns were reorganizing themselves. Even more striking, Burr detected abnormal electrical changes in cells right before a tumor started to appear. This suggested that bioelectric patterns might be able to reflect the future state of a tissue, and not just its present condition. All this led him to propose that electric fields might be acting as an organizing framework for development and disease. Burr's research opened the gates to investigating bioelectricity as a determinant of developmental architecture. At the time, the idea was considered unconventional, and the implications were unsettling. But his measurements were solid, and history would prove him right. After winning the Nobel Prize for discovering vitamin C, Albert Szent-Györgyi turned his attention towards a deeper mystery. He had noticed that metabolic reactions were occurring at speeds too fast for standard biochemistry to be able to explain. What was driving this flow of energy inside living cells? Something wasn't adding up. To explain this phenomenon, he turned to physics. He uncovered that it were the proteins inside cells that were actively conducting electricity. He found that electrons were following pathways like currents through a circuit. That led him to stumble across a novel function for proteins, that of biological semiconductors. Electrical conduction, it was turning out, was built into biological structure. This implied that electrons were powering metabolism, sending nerve signals, and thus influencing thought itself. This was a hidden layer of control within living systems that had gone unnoticed yet. Unbeknownst to him, Szent-Györgyi was setting the stage for bioelectric medicine, quantum biology, and electroceuticals. He was redefining life at its most fundamental level, one electron at a time. But today, science is moving from mere observation to active intervention. Bioelectricity has intrigued researchers for centuries, but one scientist is taking it a step further. he's looking for a way to control it. Dr. Michael Levin at Tufts University studies how electrical signals influence biological structure. Levin is instructing cells to build entirely new forms without changing their DNA, from regrowing frog legs to creating two-headed flatworms. Levin's work is proving that cells store anatomical information in bioelectric networks, which then guide tissue growth, repair, and even regeneration. Defying the conventions of genetics, he's proving that electrical signals can override even genetic instructions. Thus, his lab isn't just measuring bioelectric signals, he's using them to reshape anatomy, regenerate limbs, and redefine the code of life. If these signals can guide cellular growth and development, could we harness these phenomena to heal injuries, regenerate organs, or perhaps even control cancer? Stay tuned to see how one maverick genius is using bioelectricity to hack into the possibilities of life.